Hello everyone, welcome back to this video. In this video, we are joining with Mr. Irfan, who is one of my good friends. We've been knowing each other for 1 year now. This video is going to be primarily experience oriented. He is going to share his journey since he is from Tamil Nadu, India, how he immigrated to Canada, and how was his study experience, and now he is a professional, and how is going on. All those experiences will be covered in this video. Before moving on, if you didn't subscribe this channel, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. That's one of the biggest help that you can do for our channel. Let's get started in this video. Irfan, before we get into the video, anything related to career, introduce yourself to our audience. Where are you from and who were you before Canada?
Thank you, Boopathi. Thanks. First of all, thank you so much for calling for the interview. So, yeah, I'm from India, southern part of Tamil Nadu, in a small town called Dharapram. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and it was in Erode, nearby town to my town. Then after that, actually, I left Erode and I went to Chennai. Yeah. That was my first journey. Started as a mechanical engineer. I worked as a CNC operator for a month. It was a terrible job. I want to stand for 10 or 12 hours shift per day. It's so terrible. Then I thought after my education, I want to be something different and I want to create some impact on the organization or company in that mean. I went Delhi. I learned a course in a part of mechanical engineering, which is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, which is basically an AC. So yeah, from there my journey started.
So how long was that course in Delhi?
It was like a 4 months course, and it's a complete subject of the particular whole domain. Actually, it was quite interesting course. How I know that, because of my brother. My brother is already in the same industry, and he is now working in Saudi Arabia. So that's how I know about that course. And yeah, it was not in my bachelor, but yeah, it's like something I came up with new, but still it completely core mechanical engineering. So it got me interest. It's a small subject with wide usage or utilization of the things. So
Is your family related to this background? This is something you and your brother start exploring this area?
Not really with my family, because my mother, she's a teacher, and my father and sister, they have their own business. So it's completely new. And yeah, my brother, he's 7 years elder than me, so he's my guide everywhere. And yeah, so he knows these stuff. He got entered into these things. He got interested in these stuff, and he showed me the way. And I just followed, and I'm here right now.
What was the moment, the exact moment you decided Canada was the place? Was it a plan or did life push you here?
To be frank, it's not a plan, and it's all accident. Everything happened because initially, when I was in Delhi, I was working for the same industry, like the heating ventilation one, for past 1 year as an insect sales. While I'm working over there, I need something in my life, because I want to get into a corporate and I want to get my career to be in a better position. Even I remember I gave a few interviews in India, but my mindset was going to Gulf, anywhere like Dubai or somewhere in Saudi Arabia, which had more demand for a particular job. And at that moment, I came to know that, as I said, my brother is my guide. Once we were discussing on a phone, he said he was preparing for Canada for past 2 years, which I never heard from him. Then I get an interest on, okay, why not? Shall we try Canada? Because when I was in my 12th grade and all, I had some interest in to go on abroad to study higher education. Unfortunately, my thought was to be in European countries, but Canada, it was hard decision. But I don't know. I took it yeah, let's go. It's like a new world, new different thing. Want to go? So yeah, that's how it came. Canada came into my life.
And all this pitch, Europe, Gulf, Canada, all those come out from this. You want to explore perspective, or you want to develop a career or a profession in this country. You feel you will be in that country for a decade or a few decades in there. So how do you think about that?
To be honest, the move is for my career growth, and which is potentially impacting my financial, my living style, everything. So in that move, I chose Canada. Why? Because Canada is a land of opportunities, of course. And even though it's like when I was searching like 2022 and all, it has more demand, and it lot of they are welcoming. Canada is basically welcoming a lot of immigrants, right? So I'm like, that's the best choice because you can settle over there, you can grow your career, you can start your stable lifestyle over there. That's the choice, because if you go to Europe or Gulf, you won't start. You may start a good career, but you won't end up with a good, settled lifestyle over there. So that's in my mind. Then I started the journey. That's how I picked Canada particularly.
Awesome. So this is something that you thought before coming to Canada. What was the first week in Canada actually like? What hit the hardest? The weather, the culture, or the loneliness?
Oh, actually, all the three I can say. Because when I was coming here, I still remember I was in my owner's car and he was dropping, he picked me from the airport and he is dropping me back to home. And I was like, are you sure why people are not outside? I am asking him. I felt like so haunted places, back in India. It's everywhere. People are everywhere, right? No worries. People are everywhere, right? People. You see always the crowd, and you are entering into Canada, and you are seeing empty place, and that was terrible initially, and of course the loneliness, because I in the whole house, like it was like huge house. I was alone, stayed over there for 15 days. So, but loneliness is the second thing it hit hard, because it's not in the particular first week, because I was so excited to explore the country in that. So it's very fresh, right? So it's not that loneliness, but yeah, that different culture. Weather was good because we came around like August, so weather was good. So yeah, the culture maybe.
What was the year?
It was like 2023.
Okay. So let us collect all those your educational background. Give us properly organized. Walk us through your education in Canada. What program you studied in India? Which institution? How long did it take from your after graduating from 10th grade until now?
Okay, so 10th grade, it was good days because I scored a good mark. So we were moving from school to the the big school. We saying that I studied a small school initially. Then I moved to a huge school with a huge group. I took my first course as biomax, because it's very typical Indian parents mindset. Either you want to be a doctor or want to be an engineer. So biomax is the you can take the both decisions. But yeah, from there it started. I took biology and mathematics as my first subject, and I did my 12th standard. Then after that, yeah, I know my cutoff won't be good for doctor, but initially I had my aim to get into AFMC, on the Force Medical College in Pune. But after seeing my result, I'm like, no, I can't make it. So the regular way, it chose mechanical engineering in Vellalar College in Erode, and I did it for 4 years. From there, then yeah, after the work, why I started education in particular in Canada, because everyone said it's the easiest way to get into Canada. That's how it pushed me to start an education. So I was in a project sales side. So I just want to move into project management. So in a thought, I took project management as my first course from Conestoga. I did it from 2023 to 2024. Then after my mind was completely changed. I want to get into IT, somewhere like a software job, white collar job. So I thought, okay, let's do something. I also as analyzing my skills. I came to know business analytics is can fit for me. Business analysis as my second course in Fanshawe College. So from Fanshawe, I graduated on 2025 April. Yes, that's what my education journey.
Awesome. Did your Canadian program recognize or give credit for your engineering background from India, or did it essentially starting over in Canada?
We can put in a word like, I won't say it's an essential thing, but what I am regretting is I could have go to master, like a master's in engineering, because I don't know where I'm using this really in my life right now. But still, the education is completely different. What we did it back in India and Canada. Whatever, if you're going to masters or doing PGDM, the education are going to the same. The methodology of education, we can say in that way, the test methodology or even the engagement in class, the project, which makes me grow, of course. Which put me in this position, which helped me to put me in this position. We can say in that way. Yeah, it of course helped me. Yeah.
So now you have two different education and curriculum exposure. What are the key differences you're seeing between Indian system and Indian system?
It's a good question, Boopathi. Actually, Indian education system is more load, but more load, more knowledge, more you shine. Canadian education system makes you to shine in a way, like more practical stuff. Because back in India, our more education is like theory. We want to go to the test, want to prepare for the test, want to get a good grade in the test. That's the more major goal for us, right? But we do have like activities, I won't say, but the percentage wise, 70% you want to be like more exam based and 30% activity. But in Canada, it's completely different. Like, they only explain the concept and you have to learn in a way what you know and you want to implement it. So it technically giving an experience, right? You can see even today in my job, my position, I am feeling a lot of things I learned which is helping me. For example, there was a one boring subject in our PGDM that was communication English, right? And in that communication English, we learned how to mail, how the hierarchy works. Like how you are sending your colleagues a mail or a vendor a mail or your senior a mail. So the level wise mail. So these things are I'm still implementing. So what I'm thinking is Canadian knowledge, Canadian education is more work organizational based thing when compared to India, because I studied in India, but I didn't use anything in my workplace. The knowledge, apart from knowledge, I didn't use anything. I'm not prepared for organizational structure. But in Canada, they are preparing you for the organization. They are preparing you for the market. They are preparing you for the particular job. So yeah, this is a key difference what I am seeing.
Do you think Indian education system, for example, the knowledge that you acquired in India, will you think that will be helpful in future since AI is phenomenally dominating the industry? Do you think that kind of education system will be beneficial for people who are graduating from Indian colleges and universities?
I think yes. See, what I'm thinking is Indian education growing AI. I'm seeing like two different parts, because Indian education system is very much like, for example, I lived in London and I lived with a family and they had a kid. Yeah, in London, Ontario. So the kid was studying like first grade or second grade somewhere, and he doesn't have any homeworks. He doesn't have, what we studied, because as I remember, when we are reaching around third, fourth standard in Indian education, we almost learned a lot of mathematical skills, lot of knowledge about the science, geography, GK, lot of stuff. Still I remember like I was carrying 10 subjects books, to the school like a big bag. Yeah. So that's completely different. We are Indian education develop you to handle the pressure, and AI growth is completely different. Why I am saying, because in a different way. See, AI can't replace the job. You want to be more smart how to use the AI. That's how you compete with the AI, right? Because without a smart input, how the AI will work. right? Simply, it can't work properly without a command. So now you are an engineer, you want to become prompt engineer. That's the difference what I am seeing. So yeah, that's why I'm saying it's completely different path. Yeah, what I am believing is does not vanish our jobs. It doesn't going to do that unless and until the human being is alive, because human mind is everything. We can think in a 200. Even I have a good example. Like I was searching for my some car issues thing in AI, and I came up with a different stuff which doesn't AI showed me the path. And I put the, then I said like, no, there is one more option why you didn't give me. The AI simply said, I literally forgot to do that. That's all AI can do. So human are beyond the AI. We are the creators. So AI is nothing going to, you want to be like how to use it. Yes, Canada education, yes, I can say in a way, Canada education makes us to how to use the AI as a tool, like everyone knows, like how you cleared the exams, how you did the assignments, still how you didn't caught with what they say in citations and all, right? So the Canada, the Canada education grown us to develop the new skills, how to use the AI, not directly asking the questions and getting the answers. How you utilizing the AI? It's a very interesting topic. Yeah, we'll do it later. It's a big one. Sorry.
No problem. That's a good information there. The question is, so as everyone know, Indian system is pushing knowledge, facts, something that in a snap AI can give you. Now, do you think Indian education system or the students in India, they have to adapt to how to utilize the resources which is already in there, and then the way the application-based education system, do you think that needs to be changed in India?
Yes, of course, that need to be changed. Even I am seeing people are adapting. It's not as fast as Western countries, but still, people nowadays started using AI more in India. That's a good thing we want to see. And because Indian education is like, you can't change in a minute. We were studying auto cycle, which was designed in 90s, still we were studying. That's not a new technology. Tesla is new, electricity is new. Yes, the Indian education system should adapt the new thing and want to make the people like how we grow, how to use it. You want to implement, you want to take more responsibility as AI also as a major part in a education system. What I'm thinking, even the new party is announced, the TVK, you might know that guy. He said like in future he's bringing some AI stuff to schools. That's all. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. People are, if the education system want to change, the people who are ruling want to change. So this is how it affects. If everyone is young, and of course the new things gonna adapt, like what happened in Western countries, what happening right now. That will be coming soon. But India is implementing everything. India is going to grow. Yeah.
Okay. So let's on that. Let me redirect our conversation towards your journey here. Were you working part-time while studying? How did you manage financially as an international student?
Very important question. Very important question for each and every immigrant. Everyone has their own, interesting stories, of course. So what I did, initially I came on Canada. I had no idea to get into part-time because we are getting GAC. I enjoyed like crazily for one semester. After a semester, it started like, okay, let's start a job. But unfortunately, I was living near GTA. I couldn't be able to find any job. I was like, went like, Kitchener, basically, Kitchener, Ontario. It's completely fully packed with students due to Conestoga and University of Waterloo. So it's not easy to get that part-time job in Kitchener. That's what even happened. Like I still remember, like I dropped 100 resumes. Then I fed up. I stopped again because until 1 year I'm going to get the GAC. It's not that serious. Then after 1 year, I started realizing I want to get a job. So from there, everything started. Initially, I started applying like crazily. Then got a call. I was working as a janitor. Even my parents don't know I was a janitor. I said like I am doing a bakery closing stuff and all because it's not good for them. That's fine. Canada, because Canada, right? Canada, every job is same. Everyone we need. So that's the mindset. So yeah, I started as a janitor, and at that time I bought a car because I was in a double plan. If I didn't get a job, I'm going to do an Uber or pop ride chef thing. So but both came together. That's where my part-time job started. So I was doing both the job at a time. Like I was a janitor, and I even did a ride share. So yeah, I did it for around 7 to 8 months. Then again, I lost my part-time job. Then later, I went to vacation like India. After back from India, I started again the ride share since I had a car. Yeah, that's what like mostly my part-time job was, like Uber, ride shares, those stuff.
So you think differently. Most of the people when they come to Canada, they want to find a part-time job and steady part-time job. You went in a little different path, buying a car. Was it? Do you regret now of taking that decision, or do you think it's a good decision that make you little far from where you are now?
So I have two answers for this. It was a good decision when I took the car and I was earning. But today I'm feeling bad since I moved to Calgary. I couldn't able to bring my car. There are a lot of stuffs are going in that. Even in financially, the insurance rates are bump up. So a lot of things are going there. Now I am regretting. If I don't have the car, I could have get a good job, and then I am getting called. That was the advisable one. But even though that's the situation, right? Because initially it's my mistake. I should have, as you said, I should have wanna start the job at that time itself. But that couldn't happen. So I have to choose this hard risk path to get a car, and that's also now. Yeah, that was a little different decision to make. But what my advice is, don't go with car. It's like very expensive thing in Canada. You can't predict what's gonna happen, right? So better to stay in a job as much as you are student, as a in a restaurant or Walmart, wherever. That's what my advice. But yeah, I had two answers. I
Right.
know.
When did it click for you? When did you realize construction estimating was something you could build a real career on in Canada?
To be honest, as I said, I want to be into IT, right? So when I was working as a janitor, one of my junior from my hometown, he also joined the same Canada. He came to Conestoga and he was living with me, and we got the same job into that. And one day we got a chance to clean a mechanical room. Okay. So at that day, we were cleaning, and I was started explaining a lot of stuff to him. Like I know the stuffs, what is there. So I started explaining to him. As a sudden, he said, "Bro, why are you want to get into business analysis? You have good knowledge in estimation and even in mechanical construction." Basically, they say in that way. So why you wanna get into BA? That point struck me a lot. So that's how then I started researching what's the benefits of business analysis and the construction related roles. And in Canada, if you want to survive, you want to get into something in a demand, right? So if I'm getting into business analysis, the PR possibility is less when compared to construction. And I do have a story. Back in India, I was working as a mechanical construction estimator, like inside sales guy. So I just connected all the dots. Then I realized okay, this is the one we want to go. And today I'm proud of myself because I initially chose the path. I initially decided what I want. Then I started running. If I started running, then I want to decide. I don't know. It may be collapse. I might not be here with you in this interview for sure. I'm not sure, right? Yeah, there are a lot of things happen. So yeah, I chose the path initially in that way. The point he gave it to me, that even initially I wasn't aware about a construction estimator. That is the role. Initially, okay, I want to be in mechanical construction. I do had project management as my PGDM. I started as applying for PC, project coordinator. And it's like later like initially I started as PC, applying for PC, but I remember like when I was studying in Conestoga, I studied with 699 people in project management. Okay, like we were something bad. Yes, it's like 32 sections in Conestoga. Yeah, right. So I was applying crazily for project coordinator in construction. Whatever construction jobs, project coordinator apply. Literally, I remember like I was applying around 500, 600 jobs. No reply at all. No reply at all. Yes, no reply at all. It was so fading. Then I got that trigger point again. I want to get into somewhat I know. So I was in Delhi. It was like in textile project something. So I started researching on those jobs because here there is a huge difference. That is India and Canada. Indian job market is completely different with Canadian job market. Even Indian organization structure. For example, you are a different role named in India, which is completely a different role name in Canada. So I started analyzing those stuff. I started connecting those stuffs with the Canadian market. That's how I landed with, okay, I want to be a construction estimator, which is the inside sales in Canada. Right? So yeah, so that's a huge difference. We want to understand the difference between the Indian market and Canadian market. That's how I come up and finalize it. Construction estimator is my role. Then I started applying for the particular role. Yes.
So as a construction estimator, you are contributing the company and sale?
Yes, of course. Construction estimator is basically what you want to estimate a project, right? For example, there are 5 to 6 people bidding for a single project. City of Calgary or City of Edmonton, they want to build a metro station, let us assume. And there are 7 bidders for this project. So my part as an estimator, I want to estimate the project. Like I want to calculate the risk, I want to calculate the opportunity, I want to calculate the threat. Exactly. What are the things affecting the cost, impacting the cost? That final number goes over there, and if they selected us, I am bringing a project inside. So basically, I'm in a sales. I'm bringing a project from like the outside world to my organization. So there is a path. That's the estimation. We are saying that's a bridge. It's connecting both the things.
Okay. Take us into the job search. How many applications, especially for construction estimator? You talked about project coordinator, specifically construction estimator. How many rejections were there? And how long did it take before you got your first real offer?
Oh, it's a huge journey still. Yeah, sure. So it all started when I decided I want to get into construction estimator. Then I started to building resume accordingly for the estimation roles and all. I think I started in the late of my second semester, like in around April itself, which is our last month of the semesters. And that's where I started as a construction estimator application. And every time I am applying, I always log my, resumes, whom I applied. I log my JD. Till I have enough folders, I can say like I applied around like 50 to 60 companies, organizations, and with the different roles. For example, for different cities, I applied around 200, 300 jobs as a construction estimator. I applied. In the meanwhile, I was like, every time I am applying, I didn't apply with the same resume or the same format or the same wordings what I used in the resume before. So every time, like I put a point, like every week I change my resume and I apply for the whole week. So this is how I started initially. So in one point, like after I remember like May or June, in the end of May, I started receiving HR calls. Like I finally reached my point of, the perfect resume. And from there, I started receiving HR calls. Once I started receiving HR calls, I was like, okay, now the resume is good. Now I want to, clear the HR round. Then I understand how the HR is working here. Because here like how the HR people working, they found your resume and they ask you for a call and they take the notes basically. That note they send to manager. Then manager assess the notes. So what here I understand is, if you're talking with a HR, talk it clearly, because they don't know the technical terms. If you're getting into an estimator and a HVAC, if I am saying BOM, of course they're not going to understand those terms. Say it abbreviation. If there is an abbreviation, say it properly. So HR is not a technical guy. I understand in that way, because I received like around 7 to 10 HR calls and landed up interviews around 4 interviews. Yeah, and 4 interviews, then 5 interviews, then landed at the 6th interview as my job. And yeah, this is how everything. So for the HR round, I cleared in that way. I started clearing HR round, but then I met the managers. So basically what happened, I was struggling in a phase of resume, then I found out the resume. I was struggling to clear the HR calls, then I found out the way to clear the HR call. So this is how I did it, like step by step. And after a research, after everything, I was questioning myself, am I doing right? Because I never did any interviews. I never had an opportunity to give an interview or prepare for interview. Even back in Delhi, I was working. I remember that was my first live interview, and it was like my CEO was talking with me and he is sharing some stories about him. He didn't even ask a single question. So this is how I started over there, because then it's very new for me, like interview process, right? So then I landed up with some interviews. I still remember, for a half an hour interview, I traveled from London, Ontario to one in Toronto and came back for my shift. Like within half an hour, I did the interview. Then I came back, drive back for 2-3 hours. Then I reached London. So crazily went for, want a job, right? Everyone's in the mindset, need to land a job. Because the good thing one thing pushed to me, what is like my strategies. Whenever, when I get a perfect resume, I started receiving calls. That pushed to me like, we reached this point. We want to move to next point. So that motivates every time me to go forward, not to fall back. Even though I still remember there are multiple days I never applied. I was like, fuck, I don't want this. I can't do this. You will get some mind disturbance. So at some point, the financial situation came, then it pushes you again. Then some responsibilities triggers you again. So it's not I didn't grow in a gradual path. I was like up, down, up, down, up, down. Then I reached the point. So every time I'm going down, something is get motivated me up. So yeah, this is how I landed. Then even this land interview was like super different, because I attended for my Toronto branch, and initially it was happened. Only last 2 people were selected for the final round, and one guy was holding university degree and I didn't holding a university degree in Canada. When I am connecting to a before question, like this is where I felt bad, because I cleared the interview. I was I 100% know myself I am going to crack this interview. I was well prepared. Everything was done. We had a lot of, experience we got. We applied everything. Then a single point, I still remember, like when we were in school days, our teacher used to say, a single point of your mark will decide whom you are. A single point. That single point. I don't have holding a university degree in Canada. That guy is holding a university degree, which is not a very good university at all. Like Ontario University, Toronto University, something like that. A university degree. That changed. He got a job over there. I didn't get a job. But luckily, my manager who interviewed me in Toronto, he liked me. And he directly said with HR, like, don't send him a rejection mail. Just call him and say him the news. And wherever he's applying in the same company in Modern Niagara, he's have my full, the reference. He can apply to anywhere. That's how I landed in Calgary. I was searching aggressively. Then I landed here. Yes.
Awesome. This was a long journey, but a lot of setbacks, and then come back motivated. Never let the setbacks down you. Key. Yeah. As an international student with an Indian accent and a non-Canadian work history, did you feel bias in any interviews? How did you deal with that?
It's a very good question. It's a very crucial question because everyone is facing here. Even I faced. I'm not good in English. I'm very bad in English. My English was like, as I said, I did 2 IELTS to reach here, right? So I'm not a very good English speaker. But yes, I faced a lot of cases. Like especially in the initial interviews, I couldn't able to explain the stuff in my mind. I know
In the exact way.
exactly.
So you
like
know how exactly put the things into the place.
exactly. Like there are a lot of ways to say the story, right? But it should be more engaged and more informative when you are saying. That's the key point. But due to these things, I face a lot of problems. Like even I remember, like the HR stopped me in a way. Like when I was speaking, they stopped in between, and it was like kind of insulting. Like we study matriculation, we study English subject, till we don't know English. That bias happened, and it should have to happen to everyone. That gives you to learn English more important. That because see, now I'm in an environment where everyone is English talking, English speaking people. No one is Indian. Everyone is. I'm working with the white people, and I faced initially even here, like I couldn't able to understand what they are speaking. I couldn't able to mingle with the communication, group communications and all. But now everything changed. So that it should be, you should know English. If you are in Canada, if you want to get a good career, if you want to land a great job, if you want to change your whole path, whole life, you want to learn English. Communication is a basic tool for everything. If you can't communicate, you can't get into a job. You can't get that. Simply, you can't translate what you want to say with them, right? So yeah, some places it hit me hard. Like some places the people are saying we don't know English, but I didn't experience in a face-to-face thing. But I can feel in interviews. I felt in few interviews. They stopped in between you. They got bored. You can see in some in person and all. They are like they
They didn't pay attention to
right.
what you were talking about.
Yeah, then you got
Yeah.
fear. Oh, what I am doing wrong. Then that sucks the interest.
That's depressing.
Yeah, it happened. But yeah, I growed it. I learned and I applied. Yeah. Okay.
Perhaps if you get a chance to rewind 2 years back to that Irfan, what do you tell to him in terms of communication improvement so that will help you in the future, the points like this? I'm holding IELTS test result. What do you say to him?
I would say, if you want a good career in a Western country, you should know whatever the language they are speaking, whatever the way they are communicating. I put myself into hard sometimes. Like I have a different varieties of friends. Like not only in my language, I have different varieties of friends. The people talking different language, because I made it like not in I can say in way like I made it because I can improve my English. If you are speaking with a North Indian, you are not going to speak Hindi, right? Because if you don't know the Hindi, you are going to speak in English. So I sometimes I asked him to put that more efficiently. I asked my Irfan to put English is the first important thing, whatever if you want to survive in Canada. I would ask him to learn crazily. That's what I think. Maybe I would talk more, talk more with English, not with don't live with the same community people, don't live with the same language people, get somewhere out.
Get out from the comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. Already we came out of comfort zone from India. Why not? Why we want to stuck in Canada with same community, right? So yeah, that's what I will say I would have stay with me.
All right, let's move on.
Explain what a construction estimator actually does. For someone watching this video has absolutely no idea. Break it down simply.
Oh, okay. So construction estimator, as I said, if there is a project in a market, you want to bring the project to the company, because there are a lot of competitors in the market. So as a construction estimator, you are not estimating the job, you are estimating the whole situation. Like for example, if there is a project in a downtown and you know this project is cost for $1 million and you are very cut and right, okay, the material cost, the labor cost, whatever the things, but you forget to include the things, the other things which is not a part of a project, but it's going to impact the cost of the project. So you want to calculate more precisely how the project we are going to win and what are the cost impacts in the future. You are basically, as an estimator, you are capturing the future cost for the project and you want to make the business more profit. You can't make, you are getting $1 million project and you are making in a loss, then it's not worth to do it. So as an estimator, you want to be a more futuristic, you want to bring in a profitable job to a organization. That's the estimator's role. I hope I made it simple. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I hope people who doesn't know who is estimator, it's simply someone who coach. If there is a offer out there, if for example, like you said, city of Calgary posted a certain project on their document set, and then as a construction estimator, you have to be more meticulous on calculating the cost from the scratch to the future, how the price going to appreciate on certain materials or certain service, and you have to give, because there will be a lot of competition, right? Of course, but you have to give the right price which gives you a good profit for the company without any loss.
Always not quoting less is the best estimation. Always quoting a high risk job, considering a risk and what are the opportunities. For example, if you want to know the competitor who are bidding with, so you want to weigh in a think like a before project management thing, we can say in a way. It's basically you are calculating everything once the job got win. Everything, like including the project management people inside the office, including the project who is going to implement, include the labor. So a lot of stuff. You have to think in a futuristic way, want to bring a profitable. Yeah.
So did you have the whole skill on hand before starting this job, or you learn as you grow in this job?
Actually, initially I was in Delhi, so I was working in a same part, but that is the way of working is completely different. For example, if estimation is a chunk in between admin and, for example, the project management, estimation is a chunk. I worked in a very low part of the chunk. I never did the whole process what we are doing here. So yes, I learned on the go. But I know how estimation is working. What is the core? What is the core of estimation? Because we didn't use any takeoff. Mostly back in India, there is a design team. Design team gives us the quantity. We just float the technical specifications in the market to get the price, and we quote the project. So this is how it works. But here I am doing from scratch. I am working as a design team as well. I am working as an estimation team as well. I'm working as a business team as well. So it's a huge chunk. So, but here, that's what I'm saying. Indian culture is completely different from work culture is completely different from Canadian work culture. Even the structure of organization and all. But still, the base is same. For example, the project management, everywhere project management is same. Even though you are constructing a building or building an aeroplane, both are the project, right? So that's how I am saying. But the process in Canada, I learned once I started my job. Before that, there was an interesting story I can share. Like for the interviews while I am preparing, I usually connect in LinkedIn with a lot of people. So once I connected with the guy who is working in my current company. It was before interview, and he shared a lot of experience. I asked him like how the estimation is in Canada, how in a particular organization in Modern Niagara, how it's working. So then he explained me how the one job is coming in and going out. That process I learned from him, of course. Then I cracked the interview. Then in practical, I learned from inside. But here, know how it's coming and going. So LinkedIn helped me in that way. Yeah. So this is how it started.
Yeah, towards the most important question, the core question of this interview. What is the salary range for the construction estimator in Canada right now? Entry level, mid, and senior. Be honest with your numbers.
Okay. So it depends. Different region. We'll segregate the region to 3 types: Western Canada, Eastern Canada, and Central Canada. Because Eastern Canada, which is Ontario, Montreal. If you job in as a construction estimator in Ontario or in Eastern Canada, the salary range would be 55 to 65. That the very initial range. People are giving, like, if you are going very zero entry level, zero experience, you'll get around 60K. You can land maximum to 60K. As a mid, 60 to 80, some there 80 to 100. That's how the segregation. Central and Western part, you get more income when compared to Ontario. If you are getting as an entry level in Calgary or in Vancouver, your package starts from 60 to 65. So the maximum is 65. The $5,000 difference still, it's $5,000, right? So yeah, 65 is the basic. And if you're moving towards the mid, it goes like 10, 10, 10, like 65 to 75 for the mid, and over there 75 to 85. This is how it works. Because simply the situation in Eastern Canada is everything is settled. Almost it's going to saturate. Montreal having is good opportunity, lot of job opportunities in Quebec, but the problem is they need friends. As I said earlier, communication is the basic tool for everything, for every job, right? If you don't know English, you can't get a job in Canada. If you don't know in French, you can't get in Quebec. Because I still remember one of my incident, like I went Quebec for the trip. Over there, people know English. Okay, they know English, but they won't speak in English. Even in subway, you can't see any English word over there. You don't know whether it's the pole or chicken, right? If you don't know the pole, how will you ask, I need chicken? He said no, even though he knows English. So Quebec has a great opportunity in Eastern Canada, but as I said, you need a friend. But Western Canada, people are, growing, like even in Alberta, I remember $32 trillion something invested by government. So yeah, so it's a growing position, Western Center. So you'll get more salary when compared to Eastern Canada. Yeah.
And another question is, where does an estimator go from here? What are the career progression paths? Senior estimator, project manager, owning your own firm?
It's a good question, Boopathi. Actually, as an estimator, there are multiple ways you can get in. You can go as a normal one, like estimator, then become a senior estimator, then become a lead estimator, then become a chief estimator. That's how the organization works. In my organization, I can say in a way. If you are in estimation, you can also switch to project coordinator, and also you can get into a project management as well, because you are already estimating the steps. Now you are going to implement in project management. The project management teams, we say as a compile operations team. Those team, they also calculate the budget. They also track the real-time budget, right? So that is a part also. Also, there is a different way, which is pre-construction. It's completely different. I am focusing more on that, because pre-construction is something, it's similar to estimation as well, and it's a part of project management as well. Once we got the job, we won the job, it goes to pre-construction team. The pre-construction team does the value engineering, the engineering stuffs. The value engineering stuff, the engineering stuff. What are the pre-construction stuffs? For example, the permits things, the bringing the materials, they are preparing to launch the project, right? So that's also a way you can get into estimator, then pre-con estimator, then pre-con engineer, then pre-con manager. You can go in that way also. So yeah, you have a wide opportunity in that.
Awesome. Few questions before we wind up this session. The first one is, if you could go back and do one thing differently, just one, what that would be
I won't come.
before coming to Canada?
No, I'm just kidding.
That's okay.
One thing I want to do myself, I should have say with myself before coming to Canada is go yearly, because I came around like 27, 26 age. Okay. So I should have said myself like go yearly as much as possible, land there yearly, suffer yearly. You will be in a good position. Like in my age, if I came around 21 in my position, like 27th age, I could have won my PR, right? Even a citizenship, who knows? And even a good job with a great pay, with the the more experience. But the initial stage, of course, gonna be suffer like a hell, because I didn't have an back end experience. I didn't, both in job, in life, I don't have experience back in India. I straight away from bachelor to here. See, I always say Canada is a freedom. You can earn, learn, grow yourself. Also, you can put yourself down. You can get yourself, negative impact, negative financial. I have come across a lot of people who left Canada like they don't want to struggle. I have come up with a lot of people like that. So it's a different story if I came earlier, but still I could have been in a good position when I am now comparatively in this particular age. That's the one thing I would have said with me.
I recently saw your video in your Instagram page. You posted regarding your work permit refusal. Just explain briefly about that one.
Oh, actually, it was crazy. Like, okay, during April end, I applied in the May 1st when I was started searching for my cost estimating job. I applied my PGWP on May 1st, and actually, to be honest, 2025 was my worst period. Like my financial was sucked, like everything was crazy, nothing in my control, and I'm not in a position to ask my parents to help for this things what I'm going through. Everything happened because of me. I don't want them to involve. So it was a crazy stuff. So at that time, one of my friend helped me. Even one of my friend helped me to apply for PGWP. I don't even had the money to apply. That much worst thing. So we applied and everything done. Then August, I was settling myself like, getting some jobs, some, weather will be good here. You can do anything, whatever you want. Then we actually almost in the August, like I almost reaching to the final interviews. Okay. We can say in that way. As I said before, one interview I just missed because of the university degree. That interview, everything happened. Then the result came. I was like fucking so bad. I cried. I remember like I was crying like, oh my God, what happened? Because everything on your hand, something slipped away. And after that interview, I got the interview in Calgary. I attended the interview. At that, I attended the first HR call. Then PGWP got refused. That was like I don't know what to say. Like I already slipped a one chance in job. Now I'm going to slip another one. That dilemma started in me. Like, is it the right country to stay? That dilemma started in me. A lot of things started kicking in me. I don't know what to do. Then I know the reason why it got refused. Like, because it's my mistake. Again, by mistake I didn't submit my IELTS. We have to submit the IELTS, right? That is no separate tab, but still we want to submit. I know I had everything. Even in my cover letter, I just mentioned my IELTS, I mentioned my degrees, everything, but following up that I didn't submit any files. The name of the file that confused me, and I clicked something bad, wrong one. After the refusal I came to know, and that started like crazily. Now the refusal, and it was like there is a one line I still remember: within 90 days you want to leave the Canada. I was like, I had my education loan around like $40,000 back on me. I put my family over there. I came here, started a new life. Everything started something, you felt something good and everything slipping away. That moment was so bad. after a month, 1.5 months out with that, like I went like crazily with every consultants I met. I even spoke with lawyers. Nothing helped. Just one thing I decided. Then I reapplied, and luckily, like I got the job. Now I cracked the second interview. They don't know I'm in this suffering. I didn't explain them everything. Like, for example, like I showed them this is completely different world. What I am facing, the refusals and all. But the interview is going smoothly. I did the first HR interview, then I got the refusal, then I got the second interview scheduled. You don't know what to celebrate, right? You are in a position. What I'm going to do. Then I attended the second interview. I was not in a complete mind to attend, but still I don't want to lose the opportunity because the refusal can switch it within a snap. But I can't lose this particular opportunity. And my manager, again, he impressed. The Calgary manager, he got impressed. And I even got the job offer on October 7th, but the refusal is still there. They didn't even know. They asked me when is the day you are going to join. I just asked them a month, and they approved. See, here Canadian market is completely different. Ask the questions, ask what you want. I asked them, I want to join at November 3. I need a month to resolve this problem, but I don't want them to know I'm going through this. If I won't get the job. I'm sure about that, because this is the one dream company you can say in Canada, which I'm working now. One of the biggest company in my particular domain I'm working now. I don't want to lose this opportunity. I'm sure in that. So whatever the struggle, I'm going to face. So then I started facing the struggles. I went there, I went here, I went with the member of parliament people. Anything didn't work. Last 3 days, I was in a 180-day period. I reapplied and restored the status. I almost spent like $500. Even again,
So you can able to reapply even the rejected.
yes, because I was inside 180 days. The only plus point was I was within 180 days, and it's going to expire in 3 days. And that was the last key I have. So,
But why didn't you apply before for?
right, because I was like, I am exploring every path what I can. I kept the key for the last moment. I can reapply, but I kept the key for the last moment before. But I aware about that 180 days were there. Still, I have a month. I guess September. September end it came like August end the result came. September October mostly I was struggling with those problems. So the last key I applied. And within 2 days, I got the temporary work permit again. That was crazy. My birthday was October 25th. I celebrated my birthday. I did the onboarding process, everything. I left Ontario and I reached Calgary like November 2nd, and November 3rd was my first day of working. Yeah.
Awesome. A month difference. A month different. A month before you was a different person. A month after you are a different person. It was complete tragedy there.
I was like, that's all. I'm very happy. I've been like because of refusal, I didn't postpone the interview. I didn't poise it off. Because what I learned in Canada is opportunity is very important. Don't go slip away easy. And you got the opportunity, however you want to hold it. That's the only thing I kept in my mind, and that's what me today and what I am doing today. And so happy for that, not making the decision wrongly.
And one final thing, how did you figure out you committed your IELTS wrong?
Actually, what happened? I have a habit of reverse engineering. Okay, what happened? I got the refusal letter. I don't know. They said like simply they said, actually you didn't
Meet their
proficiency,
requirements.
because they didn't say you didn't submit the document. They simply said IELTS is mandatory, but you didn't match the qualification and all. They said in a different term. Then I was like, but my score this much. That why what happened? Then I searched back to my folder, which usually what we do, PGWP, that is one folder. Everything we drop our top, then we submit, right? Usually do that. I went there, then I saw there is 2 file name. One file name is just a word is missing. Okay, that was the one I want to submit. I supposed to submit. but I submitted the wrong file only with the cover letter. Then I came to know, okay, this was the mistake I did. Because we know, right, what we submitted. We had the folder, right? I moved the wrong document into that folder. That's how I came to know.
Finally, however, everything happened, shall happens for a reason. But now you are here. I'm proud of you. It was such a pleasure to talking to you today. I hope everyone enjoyed this video, got some insights about construction estimator, and it's nice to talk to you, Irfan.
To talk to you too, Boopathi. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you for coming.
this interview as well. Thank you.